Ram has been asking that question again. That question which has trouble in letting go of the belief in an external world, of a reality out there. This reality is purely notional, and yet we imbue it with a concreteness, with a sense of substance, which usurps our own sense of being. How can we let go of that belief in an external reality? Ram asked, "This world was, is, and will be, and it is experienced every day. How can it be said that it was never created?" It's a very reasonable question, isn't it? Vasishta replied, "This world appearance is unreal, even as the following are unreal, though they appear to be real. The dream objects is what we dream about. Water in the mirage, the second moon when one is suffering from diplopia, and castles in the air." So these are the similes which are often used. It's as real as any of these objects. There's probably a lot of other things you could add to the list, but this is almost like a summary passage. So what it's saying is, there's only an apparent reality. All we've got are sensations. We've got sensations going on. And from these sensations, we build up notions of reality. And then we forget the sensations, and the notions are what become important. Notions about a world, notions about the sort of world it is, and notions about ourself, notions about the sort of person we are. And that's what's getting fueled all the time. These things take on a life of their own and we get caught up in it. That becomes our reality. And we've forgotten the basic sensations. And being with these basic sensations brings us back to our sense of being. So we need to understand and appreciate the notional nature of what we consider reality. That's the reality of I, you, etc. The world of the reality of physical objects and other beings. Ram asked, "How can it be said that I, you, etc. did not arise at all even in the very beginning of creation?" Vasishta replied, "An effect arises from a cause, not otherwise. During the state of cosmic dissolution preceding the assumed creation, there is supreme peace, in which there is no cause for the creation of a universe." So cosmic dissolution is the realization of the notional nature of things. This is what we do in our spiritual practice. We realize the notional nature of things and come back to our sense of being. What happens though is we get caught up in creation again. We get caught up in our notions about the world again. But eventually that becomes less and less, and we get more established in our sense of being. Basically we're not giving in to belief. Even if you think that you're not a person of belief, there are things that you believe and which you adhere to. You believe that you're an individual, and you believe you're operating in an external world, and that you experience this external world through your senses. But all through the Yoga Vasishta we've been challenging these beliefs, looking into them, taking them apart, disidentifying from them. Notions of space, time and motion are some of the fundamental notions which we've taken apart. Everything is arising right now, just as it does in a dream. In a dream, we have our memories, we have our history, which can be quite different to the history we have in our waking dream. And that can change from one minute to the next, one moment to the next, and we've got a completely new history. And we believe that this is our reality, and it always has been. Ram said, "Even during the state of cosmic dissolution, surely the unborn and eternal being remains. Why can it not be regarded as the cause for this creation? Vasishta replied, whatever is in the cause, that alone is found in the effect. Something which is unreal does not arise in the real. A piece of cloth is not produced with the help of a pot. So we cannot say that this is all unreal and say that it all stems from the original Brahman, the original consciousness. If it did stem from the original consciousness, then we'd have to say it was real. But we can say it's like reflections in the original consciousness. And it's like reflections in a mirror. What is the reality of a reflection? We can see it. We can study it. But does a reflection have any reality? A reflection is something which happens without any effort whatsoever. A reflection happens without any intention whatsoever, but the reflection is not the reality. Ram said, perhaps this whole creation exists in a subtle state in Brahman, the infinite consciousness, during the cosmic dissolution, and perhaps that alone manifests itself during the next creation. In other words, like there's some kind of seed in Brahman which gives rise to creation. Vasishta replied, who has experienced the truth of that assumption, and so why repose faith in such a speculation? It's just a notional speculation. It's got absolutely no reality whatsoever. Rama said, surely the knowers of the truth have experienced in that state that there is pure and infinite consciousness. Of course, space was non-existent then. The real and material world can obviously not spring from void. So Rama's got it here. He understands. Vasishta said, if that is so, then surely the three worlds are nothing but pure consciousness. To one whose body is of pure consciousness, there is neither birth nor death. And this pure consciousness is our sense of being. It's awareness of awareness, consciousness of consciousness. This is the reality. Ram asked, then pray tell me, how has this world illusion arisen at all? And again we come back to this question, if it's all consciousness, why are we not in this realization all the time? It is because of the reflections, the effortless, non-volitional reflections going on, enchanting and enthralling, and filled with consciousness. This is our reality. They hypnotize us. Consciousness is hypnotized by its own reflection. Vasishta replied, in the absence of cause and effect there is neither being nor non-being. How does this object of perception arise then? It does not. The self itself thinks of itself and experiences itself as the object of perception. All this is but consciousness and not else.